Please, can we just calm the fuck down? Now.
Hi, long time no see. My wife, who also tends to produce things, doesn't realize when the lights are on behind my head, you keep the door quiet. You keep your mouth shut.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tiptoeing isn't going to do much about the doors. She's doing the cartoon tiptoeing behind me. So today's going to be a Halloween day. The fuck are you laughing at?
I was doing the Pink Panther thing. Made myself giggle. Alright, I'll shut up.
God forbid I cough when she's on take 45 of her saying, "Hey, howdy, hey." I get a snap from the closed room in which she's recording in, but she can tiptoe and giggle. It's all right. No disrespect at all meant to anybody here. We're about to watch a new fan film, which is a sequel to a... these are shorts. Both are shorts. The original, Halloween Inferno, was... I don't think it was that long. I don't think it was... Actually, you know what? I might be able to go and watch that afterwards. I think theoretically, if we did both of them together, it might be less than half an hour. And I'm not. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But I could swear that they're both under 20 minutes each. So when Cecil came out here in October, he was doing his thing at Fear NYC in Brooklyn, and was well, actually, you know what, Vince DeSanti, writer director extraordinaire, of Never Hike Alone. See, it was weird. I went out there with Cecil and met up with Vince and all them, and was under the impression that I was going to be like, they needed somebody to ask questions and drive the event. And Vince asked me to prepare for the thing, and it turns out that I wasn't the question asker. I was asked on stage with them, and it was a little weird. I had no business on that stage, and although they did have, maybe it was just to fill empty seats. I'd like to think it's that. But it was a bunch of filmmakers and Zazu, who worked on, I want to say, all of the audio, if not the music. I know he specializes in audio. Shit, I forgot his last name. He was only called Zazu at this event, and everybody got to hanging out and discussing things, and it was really neat. And it's funny, he didn't say anything about there being another one. Maybe he's not involved with this. Maybe I'm letting something on. But at this NYC Fear NYC event, they played a bunch of different fan films, and were part of this new, I don't know what I called it, but it's like this new development in fan films where they're high quality. And Halloween Inferno, which I'm just gonna go ahead and show it to you after this because this is short. You're gonna watch things backwards because fuck it. It was good. It was good. I just felt it was a little short. There's a visual punchline that I thought was perfect and paid off and all that jazz. And if I could say anything, the look of Michael Myers. Keep in mind, the first part, Halloween Inferno 1, was released before they started filming Halloween Kills. However you want to take that information, the look of Michael Myers is strikingly interesting. Striking. What's up, Mark? What's up, Tom? What's up, Manhammer? Hey, Manhammer, I haven't seen you in a minute. These fanboys going ham in their mama's basements. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I get it. They're nervous. We're getting it. So somebody mistook the whole stream I had about Halloween Kills. In no way, shape, or form was I implying that if theaters were open in July, that Halloween will be in theaters in July. My implication was strictly VOD related. I don't think if theaters are open in July, I do not think Halloween Kills is coming out in July. I do have reason to question if we're still theaterless in July. I think for VOD, I think somebody might come to the table and say, you know what, here, there's a void in home entertainment. There's a void in entertainment. Here, this thing's ready. If the price point even changes, where it's just like, all right, it's July. You want it early? $45 for a rental. We can discuss that further as we get along in the year, but I did not mean theatrical release. I went, my whole assumption in that entire stream, which you have no reference point, if you check the release date, March 31st, it'll make more sense. My Halloween Kills is coming in 2020, and I'll tell you why. In that stream, I basically wasn't thinking of theaters at all as viable options. My theater was open today. Well, they're not going to release movies in any of these places right now. Inferno blew me away within the first 2 minutes. I lost the fan film aspect of it. Yeah, and like I said, with there being these two separate types of fan films, I might be especially hard on this one because I've seen part one. And the fucking thing was, I saw part one in a theater. And fuck, it played well. And I mean, I'm glad for the guy behind the sound, Zazu. He was able to hear it in a theater. I just feel terrible for the filmmakers. I don't know if they've seen it. Mark Coleman, I want to say is his name. Coleman or Coleman Brothers. I might be wrong. We'll straighten that out later. Vince has seen his product on a theater screen. Cecil got to see the trailer for Dylan's New Nightmare on a theater screen. There was 2 or 3 other things that played. If you had your setup, you could have your fan film play in full Dolby 7.1 full surround. And the filmmaker in me was just in awe. Like, holy shit, these people have these low budget, no budget films, and I'm sitting here looking at them on a big screen with the full theater experience, and that's something neat. Some fan films are just for the sake of getting some people together for the sake of filming, getting a couple of beers and, just saying fuck it. And there are various stages, and we're in a time right now where, there's some platinum grade fan films, and I would say that about Halloween Inferno. The Coen brothers, is that their name? Is that the Coen? I think you're testing me. So this is a fan film. Again, links down below. Any sort of attention, praise you want to throw, put it to the home base of theirs. Yeah. So I'm gonna put this on, and we'll get to it. Has it frozen? It has frozen. What has happened? Well, that's all right. So for the sake of continuity, this is part one.
Need to get a few trucks out here. That Strode woman finally lost her shit. She nearly set the whole forest on fire. Oh, hurry, man. This place just went down.
The color grading's incredible. Again, this is the first part. It's only 12 minutes. We'll get there. I promise. Again, this is something where I kind of wish I... Look at that mask. Guys. That looks very familiar. I think that's goodbye to money for me. That's a copyright right there. Toodles. Vince Coleman Films, yeah. Zazu Pitts, son of a bitch. I knew I had the name. I have his business card somewhere around here.
You're gonna share with me, right?
This is the first part. This came out a while ago, a couple months ago.
Johnson and Martin, they have the Strodes en route to the hospital. Chief, you gotta put a call out. People have a right to know about this.
No, we gotta keep this quiet. All right, this gets out, we're gonna have a repeat of 78, okay? We don't need some damn media circus. We don't even have a body yet. All right? Where's our goddamn documents? Get on the radio, tell Hawkins to get his ass down here.
Hawkins, this is Morris coming.
We need a bus at the corner of Lada and Orange Grove. We got a body in the road.
This is Barker. Any word on Dr. Sartain?
Nothing yet. Wait, Chief, the body, it's Hawkins.
Shit, goddamn it.
Chief, what should we do?
Stay with Hawkins and keep your eyes open. Shit!
God damn it, Chief. What are we
Fucking
gonna do?
funny.
Chief, what are we gonna do now?
We need to get ahead of this. All right. Get on the phone with state police. Tell them we need them in the streets. We need bodies.
Say what?
Tell them Michael Myers escaped.
Police have responded to a homicide at 91 Castle Road. The names of the victims have not been released, and it is believed that the killer is still at large. Police are urging people to stay indoors. For updates, stay tuned to Double M News.
You don't know what's wrong? No, Are you serious? Did you forget what you did? I caught you. You were freaking making out with Vanessa. Come on. That slut, like of all the people. Oh, you gave her a hug. Did that include tongue in the mouth? Really? No. Are you serious? Me? Me drinking? Oh my God. I locked eyes with you. I saw you do it.
Perhaps a little too dark. I didn't make that out. Well, music. Yeah, I think I remember this being a bit ambitious. Yeah, this is a one take that underlit. These are hard to light, like, period. So to do this in a fan film is ambitious as fuck, but it, you know, E for effort. But when it comes to making things out on screen, it's hard. I mean, look into one shots, and the one thing they always bitch about is lighting them. I mean, granted, it's a dark night, you know. It's certainly forgivable. You just can't. I mean, the one thing in fan films, you'd rather not see anything than see shit you shouldn't. And now I'm seeing, now it's lit to fuck. It's a. It's quiet.
You don't even care. You lie to me, you cheat on me, you don't even care. You don't care at all. Fine. I'm getting ready to leave. I'll get ready to leave.
Actual hits, those are pretty good. It's got to be a rubber
You know what?
hammer.
I don't even care anyways. I'll find someone better. And as someone who's actually loyal to me,
It's all one take. Impressive. I want to know the rig they shot this with. And that's Halloween Inferno. The one in H18 that everyone called a one-shot or whatever cuts right after he grabs the hammer to the house. Yeah. Well, I mean, him, like, it tracks with him through the neighborhood, and then he takes that turn down the driveway, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have it in my memory, but some people gave credit somewhere where they said it was a one shot, and it wasn't. So let's try this again. All right, way too big. All right, so that was it was 7 minutes. That was part one. And here we go, right into it. Part two. Please play. That blue tinge. Really important to the Halloween fans, huh? Date right car.
Northeast 8 to 10 males on school grounds.
Jesus, what happened? Oh, no, come in, get in. Are you okay? Wait, what happened? I'm fine. Hold on.
My husband, he's inside.
This is Officer Hawkins. I 48 Crestwood. I need an ambulance.
He came and attacked us with a knife. Please, he's gonna kill us.
Is he in there right now? Okay. Stay here.
Close-ups for anxiety, drama. What is with Mr. Sandman in this franchise? I don't get it.
This is Officer Frank Hawkins of the Haddonfield Sheriff's Department. If there's someone in this house, show themselves.
Interesting
Hey, this is Hawkins. I'm
work there at the
requesting
Foley.
immediate backup at 48 Crestwood Drive. I think it's him.
Huh?
Haddonfield Sheriff's Department.
Yeah, there you go. Get me murked for copyright. Hey, I have that vinyl player.
Sir? Sheriff's Department? Sir.
Pretty good looking mask.
This is Dr. Sam Loomis. The date is March 18th, 1984. It's been 6 years, Michael, and that night still haunts me.
6 years?
I find it hard to sleep some nights knowing that you still walk this earth. Please, tell me why, Michael.
Sheriff, Laurie Strode left the hospital.
What do you mean she left?
I don't know, she just left.
I told you to keep a uni on her at all times.
Yes, sir, we did, and this is a shit show. I don't know what to tell you right now.
Put out an APB for her, or it's your ass.
Sir, I'm not trying to be rude, but that is
Thank you,
completely
Pete.
unfair. It's not just me out there. This is not a normal night. We are trying our best right now. You need to understand that.
Hey, Vic. You guys see my dad? He asked me to bring him food earlier. Kind of dragged my ass getting here. Hardy.
Lily, come sit down.
What's up? What's going on?
Lily, I'm so sorry. Your father was killed earlier this evening.
What?
We don't know what happened. Whatever you need, we're here for you.
It's hard to act devastated like that. Having said that, lots of these two films are A+. The acting from the first one and some here,
Ooh.
a little less than A. 6 times!
How's the car coming
I shot him 6 times!
I don't know. I can't get it to turn over. I'm probably gonna be out here all night trying to figure out what the fuck's wrong with it. Any trick-or-treaters?
Not many. And now I am stuck with all of this candy that I can't control myself with. And you know, I might just stuff my fat face for the rest of the night.
I bet. You know, it seems like every year there's fewer and fewer kids. Kids suck nowadays.
Yeah, yeah.
When I was a kid, Halloween was like Christmas. It was a big deal. You know, we should go to my parents next year. Their street is always packed on Halloween.
Speaking of your parents, your mom wants to know what we're doing for Thanksgiving.
Can we get through Halloween first, please?
You know how she is. Just try being nice.
You know what? I'm starving. Did you make anything to eat?
It's in the microwave.
Thank you. Hello? Hello?
It's gorgeous looking.
Hey, if you want candy, go around to the front. All right? Thank you. Happy Halloween.
Would they throw fog in there? It's a good look.
Oh, fuck!
Ow.
Son of a bitch! Cindy! Hey, buddy. What do you
Wait,
want?
didn't he changed masks?
Break it ain't funny! Get the fuck out of my garage! Fuck you!
Yeah, if you told him to leave and he leaves, you know.
This ain't fucking funny! Cindy! Cindy, get out here! Fuck. Cindy!
Is she dead? What's taking her so long?
Cindy! Cindy, get out of here now! What are you doing with that? Put that back! Bring it on, motherfucker!
Oh, we got a buster.
No, please, please! Cindy! No! Cindy!
You said bring it on, motherfucker. Wait, I thought the mask was... He switched. Ow. Oh, right. Wow. That mask looks pretty good. And I keep wanting to talk about why.
Hey, over there.
In the end, there could only be one.
Hey. How you doing?
Tell me what happened.
You know I can't do that.
If you have any respect for me, you'll tell me what happened.
There's a lot of moving pieces here. I could lose my job.
My dad is dead. You want to act like this is hard for you?
I know this is hard for you, but this guy's still out there. We have to find him. We don't want anything else to happen. Really.
A breaking story from Haddonfield's Sheriff's Department. Convicted serial killer Michael Myers escaped from police custody late last night during a routine transfer from Smiths Grove Sanitarium. The infamous babysitter murderer is presumed to have burned to death in a house fire, but police have yet to identify a body. As of now, there are at least 10 fatalities connected with his escape.
It was him, wasn't it? Michael Myers?
I'm sorry, Lily.
It's really good filmmaking.
O'Grady, let's go.
The script and the acting.
Sir, now!
Could use some work. Which is sad because it's really, really pretty. It's a really good looking movie. This is a short. Together they're not even half an hour. Close up on drama. We're done?
This is Dr. Sam Loomis. The date is March 18th, 1984. It's been 6 years, Michael, and that night still haunts me. I find it
Sour note, that's Zazu.
knowing that you still walk this earth. Please, tell me why, Michael. Why Halloween? Why those innocent kids, Michael? They didn't deserve such a fate. Where does this rage come from? You won't fool these people again, Michael.
So...
You'll never again be able to hide behind this conscious act of catatonia. The world knows the evil that resides in you.
Vince Coleman has a lot of hats.
What you truly are.
Zazu had the boom, huh?
Sure, your last breath.
Everybody had their complete control over their element. Sound was up to down, covered in the right guy, the same guy. Extra ADR. I think Zazu was the voice on the police officer, if I'm not mistook. I should have done that earlier. I think that's it. That is it. I cannot stop the rock. So, all right, now I digest it. Man, we've gone quite the journeys with these fan films, haven't we? This chick is a better actress than the one who played Laurie's granddaughter in 18. Yeah, so if I'm going to be critical, they put a lot of drama, a lot of, a lot of trauma, couple of traumatic events to act from, which, you know, that's big time when you're doing a slasher movie. At the very least, where this movie shines is on the technical aspects. I would say that technically speaking, it's, you know, the way it looks, the way it's shot, the way it sounds are A plus. And I have no qualm saying that. Where I get a little critical, I guess, would be some of the writing and some of the acting. And you know, when you break movies up like this, you're definitely not going to have a script supervisor. So the fact that they ended the first one with Myers switching masks, and then the next time, like the first time we see him in this, he's wearing the mask that he swapped out. That's big. You know, that's stuff that a lot of people run around and go bonkers over in the slasher community. Like, I mean, for the life of me, I can't explain little kid Jason in the friggin' sewer after 8, and then suddenly he's a great big grown up again. But that's a bit of a continuity hiccup. There's elements of these things that, you know, you saw the crew size. It's small. This I'm assuming. Well, I think it was. He was a camera operator. The director's a camera operator. And I think he did color work. He was doing a color treatment, if I remember the credits right. Zazu really good with the post and audio and ADR and Foley work. Although there wasn't much to Foley. I mean, they're short. They're both very short. The first one is more of a scene, I guess. So if I'm gonna pick some, I can't stress enough that it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous and it sounds gorgeous. That A plus, whatever you want to do as far as grading process is concerned there. But the story is where I'll kind of tilt my head and say, yeah, but, or why, or what, because I don't have an idea of what's going on. I don't know what the story is. Even if I were to take the two and make them one, I don't know who we're following. Who's our protagonist? What's the story? So essentially, we're just following Michael Myers. Is what it seems like. The flashback is interesting. You give us a flashback to 78 so that we get, and I'm thinking exclusively for these two films. You give us a flashback to 78 so that we have some sort of weight to the daughter. It seems like a bit of shoehorning. How much of a story can you tell in shorts? It's a good question. But anything that you throw on film should be a 3-act structure. I cannot stress this enough. If I were to get 5 people together, I'm not making a film that looks like that. I know that. It looks fantastic. It sounds fantastic. There's no way around that. That's easy to say. I'm not trying to gripe against movies. Why are Halloween fans so much more tender than Friday the 13th fans? I don't understand this. Friday the 13th, I've ripped, I don't know, 6, 7 fan films, and been honest. I like the way the cinematography's done here, but I don't know who this is, who that is. I don't know. I don't know how to read your tone, Anthony. How much of a story can you tell in shorts? I don't know if that's a sarcastic tone, but if I shoot something in 5 minutes, it still should be 3-act structure. It still should be intro, conflict, resolution. Even if this is an ongoing series, like if this is like a 10-part series that ends up being the length of a movie. And Mark says, if you are good, you can tell a hell of a story in 10 minutes. Yeah, and we've had 19 total. And I need you to understand. Not at all. It's just a question. Okay. Yeah, it's just hard to read tones. I don't assume. I just want to make sure. Yeah, it's. So if you have 5 minutes, you can, even 5 minutes, the first minute you can focus on introducing us to the person that's most important. And the middle 3 minutes, or you can even go as far as the middle 3 to 3.5. You give us the conflict. What is the thing that's driving the story? What makes us interested in it? And then the resolution is, all right, how does this story end? It needs to end. But so far, these stories seem more like an ongoing series. Television structure is different than film structure, and the end of the first part was absolutely a cliffhanger. And again, there's elements where, fan films, there's certain elements that you just kind of shrug your shoulders and say, okay, fan film. And some of them, when they have really strong parts, in some places, you kind of let it all go and just say, wow, okay. Never mind the fact that, that guy at the bar couldn't act, but this looks fantastic. And again, if I had to nitpick, I'd nitpick the story and perhaps the acting, but that in no way would hold me against suggesting this movie to somebody. It looks gorgeous. It looks gorgeous. It sounds gorgeous. The same thing I said about a different fan film recently was maybe let somebody else in on the creation process and just open yourself up to something. Because there's a lot of hats that are being worn by the writer director. There's a bunch of things there that is being done by one person. And sometimes when you're doing so much in a production, you're so close to everything, you don't really take a step back and say, okay, does this make sense? What is this doing? Whatever. And again, with I don't know the budget, could be shot on nothing. I'm curious to know like what their technical setup is. What was that shot with? Because that, I want to say that was like a high quality rig with some Steadicam. See, like that's where I'm a sucker. If you make it look pretty, I'll really forgive a lot. And it looks pretty. So I don't know how many times you want me to say that I think that right down to the cinematography, the color grading, gorgeous. I know he does that because he had that credit before. He makes a gorgeous picture, where I would say maybe open the door up to some constructive criticism or even other notes from somebody not directly associated with the project, is just open up the story and the perhaps the pace of the story itself and see what other people have to say about that. They look like they were set up to be one scene. Yeah, it does. And that's some of this too. Sometimes, fan films are hard. It's really hard because, there's this weird asterisk with fan films. Sometimes people say, hey, I want to do my dream sequel to Friday the 13th. And they do it. They give you 90 minutes when it really should be 40. But, there's ambition to it. And some, they're like, listen, I just want to get some work. And they're like, I know I'm a great fucking DP. I know I'm a good cinematographer. I know I'm a good, sound guy. I know I'm good here. If I make a short film about a guy and a girl, at the park, nobody's going to watch it. But if I can show off what I can do with a camera and, just fucking tie it to a Michael Myers story, more people will watch that. And in those cases, those people are just kind of, using an intellectual property to get attention for their talent. Like, if I wanted to see, this is hard for me. I don't know. I think where I'm strongest as far as production is concerned is in post. I think my strongest in production is editing. If I wanted to wow somebody, I don't know, I would probably try to edit, I don't know, a Friday the 13th that doesn't roll the way it needs to. But that's hard. Cinematography you can get credit for. In even script work, it's hard if you're a good writer. A lot of times people will give that credit to the person acting. And that goes both ways too. If sometimes there's not really great acting, somebody will put that on the writer. And so, one way or another, that's not fair. And then sometimes it's just the director, all right, one take. There's a lot of different elements to fan films. I don't know anything about the budget. I prefer it this way. I like knowing nothing, and then asking questions and then being told afterwards, because it makes it more interesting. Like if this were a movie that had $100,000, then I would be a little bit more critical, because you got some money to move. The dramatics in it just seem like they're there just to be there. I don't feel like there's story progression. There's a flashback for the sake of like letting us know listen, I don't know the Halloween characters and what their names are and who's important to what, but I don't know why there would be an importance for that girl. We don't know anything about her. We don't know anything about her relationship with her father. We just know that there was a flashback to a scene where Michael Myers got caught and stopped for the police. Really interesting. Fast forward, the sheriff is dead, and the daughter's distraught about it. And again, it's hard. It's hard to put in traumatic acting. So, you know, I'm not giving like, you know, a D or anything to any of the acting or the writing, but I can't get as high as an A with the writing or the acting, and that's not a slight against anything. It's hard to tell. They might have been doing this on a 4-day schedule. I mean, I know for a fact they premiered this thing, the first part, in October when Cecil was here, and that was late October. They shot this, edited it, and have it up within 4 months, and it looks good. I don't know if I went out and put something together with that little a crew, if I could get you something in that short of time. Pick them nits, my brother. I feel like a great looking and sounding fan film is good. I don't know. I don't set too high expectation when it comes to fan films as far as acting and story and characterization. That's absolutely fair. And that's it. Like this new landscape for fan films, I don't know what the rules are anymore, because there's very different things to look at. Like, I remember there was a fan film that I years ago that I loved. It was this 5-minute little thing, and it's about this group of kids that their car breaks down on the side of the road, and it's essentially 4 kills. Jason, 13 minutes or so. Nothing really great about any one thing, but I enjoyed it. So this is old. This is going back at least 15 years ago. So the thing is different now, where people are putting a lot of interesting, expensive looking quality into these productions. So it's hard to grade, like, are you just, giving us 10 minutes of Michael Myers killing people or what? Where, did even in that case, did we get enough? I mean, the kill was interesting. A guy talking shit while he's stuck in a car is hard. He talks shit and then gets one stab, and then he's back to the shift from what, fuck this, let's go. The shift from that to back to being afraid is too fast. And I don't know if there's time constraints. I don't know why not let that breathe? Why, for the sake of that, why have that discussion with the girlfriend? That all that information we got there about the mom wanting to know about Thanksgiving and the candy, nobody comes around anymore, all that shit. The nobody comes around anymore makes sense. So if he thinks somebody's at the door for trick or treating, fine. I don't know if they're trying to give you a feeling for how important this guy is to this woman, or their relationship, but it's unnecessary information, because the girlfriend leaves and then we don't hear from her. We don't know what happens to her. So it's kind of confusing. Anything that I have questions about is in relation to, people on the screen, not what we're looking at, not what we're hearing. It's funny. I've said this before. I'll say it again, and I'll probably say it again in the future. There are so many different fan films where I would be like, all right, let me take this part from this one, this part from that one. Now you guys work together and make something, because shit, that would be exciting. And the one like thing that's holding a lot of these things back is lack of crew. That crew size was what, less than 10 on that. It's hard to make movies when you can't get somebody to help, and you can't get somebody with the same investment into your project. Like you've got to, it's making movies is worse than asking somebody to help you move. And asking somebody to help you move is hard. You have to have a really good friend that'll help you move. And, buying them lunch and shit, it's just sometimes isn't good enough. And filmmaking it's just filmmaking. They're not really doing any, well, actually, no, some cases there's heavy lifting. But what you're asking of these people is to have an investment in the thing that I really care about, and put the same amount of work into this as I would. And that's difficult to ask in a creation process. So it's hard. It's hard judging this as a story. I'm confused. It looks gorgeous. It looks fantastic. I'd like to see somebody else's elements mixed into this production. Look wise, wait, what? It's one of the better fan films. Look wise, it's one of the better fan films. Okay. The acting, I would give it a C. I'm probably right there with you. I would give it maybe a C plus. I mean, it's hard to act devastated. Yeah, might even B minus for the distraught my father's dead scene. But the rest of it, C plus, C. Did you see Dylan's New Nightmare? Looking forward to that shit. Nightmare was underrated. Looking forward to that shit. New Nightmare is underrated. Dylan's New Nightmare is not done. They're not even started. Are you talking about the trailer? The trailer does look good. Yes. And that again falls into what I'm talking about. There's this different breed of people making films. I mean, you have the guy who was in New Nightmare in there. So it's getting really hard to figure out what is just a fan film at these points. And again, every now and again I'll get some kickback for the way I'm judging these things, but you guys keep telling me to watch these things. I'm gonna judge them the way I would anything. I'm watching it. I don't mean anything ill of the filmmakers by giving how I took the movie. There's no way around it. And it's just my opinion. Don't go buying yourself a studio if I said your movie's good, and don't go, closing shop if I said it's bad. It's just my opinion. Take it for whatever it's worth. When I critique something, it's for the better, and when I say something's good, it's because I think it's good. I don't know how the fuck to say this. My criteria for fan film changes from film to film. There needs to be a grading curve for them. Yeah, that's certain. Sure. Yeah, I mean, well, like that's part of it too. Like, within 2 or 3 minutes, you'll get an idea. Okay, this is what I'm in for, and then like your score goes a certain way. Yeah, I think I made this comparison once with one of the Friday the 13th movies. where you're going to a sporting event. You know rather quickly whether or not you're at, a NFL game, a high school game, or a pee-wee game. You'll know that soon. And it's just grading it within those little subdivisions. Like, oh, well, for a pee-wee game, if there's a kid just running around making everybody look silly, then okay, for a pee-wee game, that was incredible. And vice versa. If you're watching a professional game and there's somebody kind of slow, not catching anything, you kind of point to that and say, man, if the team didn't have that guy, who knows? I thought they finished it. No. It's not even close to done. They were supposed to start filming in May, and that's been delayed. One of these fan films for Halloween needs to holler at Danielle Harris. She desperately wants to be in a Halloween film, and she's doing nothing. Oh, she's not going to do it for free, I don't think. I thought the acting in Halloween Night wasn't bad, but I didn't like the dude that played Michael, but it was still good. Halloween Night, remind me? I'm not sure if I've seen that. Don't even mention sports. I miss the NBA. Dude, we all miss something. She's a full-time mommy. It's probably hard to, but I agree. Yeah, some of these things, listen, if it's a 10-minute film, won't take very long to film. You figure, what was it? I forgot what it was. As far as dialogue is concerned, for every 3 pages, you should be able to get a day's work. Or 3 I forgot what it was. There used to be a, script page to day of work thing that you could figure out how much you needed somebody for. To be fair, there's tons of moms who do full-time TV series and multiple movies. Yeah, but they're getting paid for it, Tim. That's the thing. If Danielle Harris does a fan film, I don't know how they're going to make it worth her while to not be doing whatever it is she's doing now. But yeah, no, it's interesting. The landscape that we have now is certainly different. I don't know. This one of the again, Halloween Inferno looked gorgeous. The sound work is really good. Same thing can be said here. Inferno Part 2 looks gorgeous. Sound work really good. The story, I'm confused. But I'm not a Halloween guy. There could be Easter egg there that I'm just completely not even picking up on. I don't know. It just seems with the way Friday fan films have had Friday actors and now Freddy, why not Halloween? Well, because Halloween's succeeding right now. Halloween, you have stuff, being made by the studios. I think that's part of it too. That's admirable. When it comes to Friday the 13th, when it comes to Nightmare on Elm Street, you have all these fans that have, the craving. They want to see new. They want to see new Freddy. They want to see new Friday. They're not getting it, especially from Friday the 13th. So I think the mentality is, fuck it, I'll do it. And there's a bevy of stuff to choose from. Some of it, again, the curve just goes. Sometimes you have some minor league stuff, and sometimes, shit. If Warner Brothers ever figures their shit out, Vince better get one of, if not the first call for Friday the 13th. Halloween Night just came out the past couple months. EP is like an hour long. All right, I have not seen that. All right, so I'll look into it. Maybe that'll be the next one. An hour's long. But I don't want to do a whole bunch of different things in all these different videos. Danielle Harris is a bigger star than Friday actors. Not all of them, but yes. She's certainly a bigger draw at the conventions. That's for sure. Okay, so please make sure you click the links down below for the films, and let the filmmakers know that however you felt, just try to be respectful. These people are pretty close to professional, though. I would call these damn near the, the NBA grade. There's not much high school in here. There's not much pee-wee stuff going on here. These people know what they're doing. So until next time, I've been CP. Can't wait to see what we have next. Thanks for joining me, guys.